Hi, welcome to this video tutorial for System Shock 2 editor, ShockEd. I'm Raphael and I will be your host for this program. First thing first, what is ShockEd? ShockEd is the editor, the level editor for System Shock 2. If you are familiar with Thief 1 and Thief 2, it's a customized version of the same engine, so you will quickly get used to it. In any case, I recommend that you read the whole tutorials that you can find either through the Looking Glass or Strange Bedfellows or Looking Glass Classics. Read them all, read them twice before you get started. It will make things much easier later on when you actually get to building your own level. To install the editor, it's very simple. The package that you get from whichever site you went to, you have to unzip it to the System Shock 2 directory, and obviously this System Shock 2 directory has to be a legal version of System Shock 2. Before we get started, a few things. The default level in ShockEd is basically an infinite block of solid matter. So what you will do when you build your level is actually carve things out of it. These things are not actually rooms, not as we know it. They are brushes. There are room brushes. For the lights there will be light brushes, sound brushes, anything that is relevant to the architecture of the level is a brush. And rooms is a term that we will use later on for sound. So we shouldn't, and you shouldn't, use rooms when talking about your architecture in ShockEd. Another thing is the objects. So brushes and architecture are one thing, and the other thing, all the rest, all that you can interact with, the AIs, the furniture, the switches, the links, everything else is objects, and we will have a separate video to talk about it later. So now let's get started and let's fire up the editor itself, and we'll see how it works. So here we have the main program interface for ShockEd. As you can see, there are 5 main sections. You have the menu here at the top, just like any Windows program. You have 4 view windows here. This one at the top left is a 3D view, and then the other 3 are top, right and front, and they allow you to explore your level as you build it. You have here at the bottom left a bunch of options which we'll explore in detail later. That's where you decide location, size, orientation, material, texture, everything. And here at the bottom right you have a command line interface. You can type commands here, specific DromEd commands. And here, this white banner here at the bottom, you can't interact with it, but it displays the status of several things. You have here the name of the level usually, the game sys files that you're using. Here is the status of, well, actually it changes as you build the level. So, and here's the date. That's the basic layout. This white square here is actually a cube. I'm gonna go into more detail in the next sections. It's the default brush of the level, and here this purple pinkish thing here is your camera. It's you. It's what you. It's your position in the level. And this little line here is the direction you're facing. Well, so that's it for the program. Now let's build a proper level. Okay, so here I have opened an actual level that I created for the Shock project. So this is how it looks like when you have something built inside the editor. As you can see, it's all wireframes, and there's an easier thing to check the levels. You can always navigate using the top, right, and front windows. And this one, the 3D view in wireframes, as you can see, it's quite busy. You can't see anything detailed. So there's quite a nifty options here. You right-click, and then you select Solid plus Selection. And what it does is it gives you a low-res rendering of your level that you can navigate. I mean, you can navigate it in the wireframe view also, but it gives you an easier way. Without entering into game mode, you can explore your level. So now there's another thing. As you can see, it's not really detailed. I mean, it's really dark. You can always put here in the command line, there's the light bright function here. No such command. Okay, that's weird. Okay, now it should work. So there's no change, but when you start using the WASD keys to navigate, you'll see, pow, there, I have everything. Now you can go there. Using the WASD keys, you can navigate your level. As you see, the purple camera thingy always stays at the center, and the 3 screens here are synced with each other. So you are always in the middle of the view window. You're never out of sight, and it's the level that moves around your camera. So here I can explore everything that I built. I can go up, I can go down, I can turn. It's actually very similar to the controls in System Shock 1. So if you've played that game, navigating through a level in ShockEd will be really easy after a few minutes. So now you have everything, and you can see the different colors here are objects, and the textures here are in blue. The architecture is in blue, I mean. You can see the color code. So the architecture is in light blue. You have the lights that are yellow, and all other objects are red. Here. Well. So I'm going to open an empty level now, and we're going to see how we can start building some stuff. Where am I? Okay. So here there's this basic cube. I'm going to navigate a bit and see there. Here. So as you can see, this white square is actually a cube. This cube is a brush. That's what we call a brush. And it's set here, as you can see, in up, fill, air. Maybe I'm going too fast here. Let's rewind a bit. Okay, so I was going a bit too fast here. First thing first, the thing you have to know about ShockEd is that the default level in ShockEd is basically a giant infinite block of solid matter. And what you will do when you build your level is carve out chunks of that solid matter and create rooms filled with air. So basically you can consider that a level in ShockEd is a cave. inside a giant block of solid matter. Here we have this option here, fill air. If you see, you have several options for the brushes, which is what we call, what we would call in the real world rooms. Brushes are the architecture in the level. Anything that is affects terrain, the walls, the floor, the roofs, the ground, the sky. This is brush. Anything that you built that is not interactive is a brush. And you can have several of those. You have, well, you can consider the basic default level has a giant infinite solid brush. And this here is set to fill air. So if I tell the editor to portalize, which is to say to take into account what I tell him to do, I create here a cube filled with air. You have several options. You have fill solid. That may seem redundant, but once you have filled a few rooms with air, you can create new brushes filled with solid to create stairs and stuff. You have fill air, you have fill water to create, well, obviously water. You have flood, you have evaporate, and other stuff that I didn't even know existed. Anyway, the most common will be obviously fill solid and fill air. Here in the 3D view, as you can see, there's nothing, even if I go to solid selection, because there's nothing built yet. Here this cube is set to fill air, and I'm gonna tell the editor to actually do it. So I click here in tools and portalize. Bam, there. So here you see I am inside. You see that I'm circling here. I'm basically looking around the cube. I'm inside a cube filled with air that I just created. And here's the bottom. This funky texture here is the basic default texture. It's called Jorge. Get used to it because you will see it a lot. Now, if I enter game mode, I will enter this this cube, but unless I have the light bright option, it will be pitch black. So let's save that level. I go to File, Save Mission. I take, yeah, let's save it here. Test. Okay. And now I'm going to go to game mode. You can go to game mode using game mode, or you can simply type Alt and G. As you can see, that wasn't really successful. It was pitch black, I didn't see anything. But for all intents and purposes, when you get to game mode, you're in System Shock 2. So we have this basic cube filled with air here, and it's dull. I mean, there's nothing. It's pitch black, and you don't have anything to do in it. So let's add now some texture and some lighting. So here in the bottom left you can see that there's under create here there's the column with a few options, and it is set to brush. If it is set to brush, the next thing I will create is another brush filled with air, and I don't want that. I just deleted it. So what I want to do now is create a light, and I'm gonna create a light here by clicking light, and here where I want to put it, I'm just gonna click and drag a bit, or maybe I don't remember how to do that. Here. Okay. So if you see now, the white square disappeared because it's not in focus anymore. Now the object I have selected is the light. If you watch here, the bottom left section has changed. You have a few options here, X, Y, Z, which is the location of the light in your level, and you have here the options for the light, the brightness, the hue, and saturation. We will leave this alone because we're creating a test level and we can use the default here, but we are going to have a closer look at the XYZ. Here XYZ, as the name indicates, is the location. Here you can move wherever you want, with 0 here being the center, the absolute center of your level. Here I'm going to put 0. There are several means to change it. You can either type the number, or you can drag right or left. Here I am dragging, or I can just double click and put the number I want. Here 0. Sorry, I'm mistyping because for some reason my keyboard for ShockEd is set to French and I don't know why. 0. Here the light is placed at 0 for everything, and it's the absolute center of the level. And I'm gonna put it a little higher. Let's say 4. No, wait. You can also use the little brackets here to change when you want to do it very, very carefully. You can change it one unit at a time. So here my light is at 0 and 0, but it's 4 units higher than the center. And now, of course, if I go to game mode now, it will still be pitch black because I haven't portalized yet. Oops. Because I haven't portalized yet. You always have to portalize in order to tell the editor to update your map with what you've just did. And also you have to save your level before going to game mode, for the reason I'm going to show in the next sections. So now I'm gonna portalize here, and now if you go to game mode, press Alt and G, and you will be in a brightly lit room, and you will see the wonders of Jorge firsthand. And here you have the light. Okay, what do we have now? So I just went into game mode to check the effects of my lighting, and I came back to edit mode. And now what we have here are new objects. You can focus on this. New objects, an object called player with a number, and that means the level has changed since the last time it was opened. And that's not something you want to have. Everything in game mode can change when you have, for example, you're setting up a trip that has only to be used once, and then you went into game mode to test it, and you forgot to save. When you come back to edit mode, the switch will be gone. That's because there's the bug here that that was not in Thief 1, that anytime you come back to edit mode, the editor should reload the level as it was last saved, but it doesn't do it. So always before going to game mode, you have to save your level, and then when you come back, before you do anything, you have to open it again. Anyway, if you try to save it now, it will say it needs immediate surgery. And that's a bit of a... I don't really know what it means, but if you see that when you try to save your level, it's a reminder that you've been into game mode, and that whatever change you made to your level afterwards, you'll have to do it again on the proper level. So now I said no, and I'm gonna reload the actual test level that I just did with a little light and everything. No, I didn't save the light. Huh. Okay, my bad. So see, that's kind of the error that you could make. I could have said I've done it on purpose. Well, too late now. So here we had 0, here we had 0, and here we had 4. Oops, French keyboard. Here. So now I'm going to save it. I'm going to portalize first, of course. Here it says done, and I'm going to save it. So now you have this default cube with the light in it, but it's still filled with the texture Jorge. So it's actually pretty ugly, and you don't want to play through that. So what I'm gonna do now is load a texture with the command line load family and a texture called MSG test. Sorry. And this loads, added family here. That means the texture family textures are divided into families. You have here, you see all the different families. It's usually divided by deck. You have engineering here, earth, hydro, med science, ops. Every texture is divided into several families, and here I loaded a test family, and I'm just going to type Alt and T, and here it is ready to be used. You have wall texture, floor texture, light texture. I'm going to put some tiles. So what I do is just select the texture I want to use, and then click on the surface I want to texture. There. Now I'm gonna use another texture, so I just click on this here and type, and again it's done. Again, here, here. It's really easy to texture surfaces. Next, you have that. And let's finish with the here. So here you have a fully textured cube. It's pretty ugly, it's not realistic, but you have a real level. Now if you go to game mode, you can check it out and have a closer look. I'm going to type Alt and T again to make the texture window disappear, and we'll get back to the view windows. Here you have several options, and we will see now how to adapt the textures and reduce the size, orient them, and basically do what we want. So now we have a texture on the wall, but it's not quite how I want to do. I'd like it to be smaller. Really, it's not what I want. So how can I do that? Well, it's really simple. Again, once the texture, you know, with the Alt T, I can bring up the texture options, and when it's done, I just click again on the wall I want to change, to modify. Let's click here, and oh, you see that there are a lot of options here that are available. I can reduce, I can modify, I can move the texture. If I want to align, for example, align one border here on the right side, I can align it. If I want to go and align, I don't want this to be at the bottom, I want a gray line at the bottom. Well, I'm just gonna use this and adapt it. In the video it doesn't really show, but it's actually working. Sorry for that. Let's put it back as 0. Another nifty thing is that maybe it's too big. Maybe you don't want that. Let's try the this one. These tiles are too big. I don't like that. I want smaller tiles. Instead of 4, I want 8. So here you have, if you see the scale option, instead of 16, let's put 15. And oh, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles per side. This is great. This is exactly what I want. And it's nicer. Yeah. Oh, let's make another. Next to it 14. And oh, of course it goes the other way too. You can put 16 if you want, but it doesn't really work. Usually you want to go smaller for textures. And here, let's put it back to 15. That's what I wanted. It's much better now. And here I want these lines to be rotated. Let's rotate this. You can click on rot and just slide left or right, and you can just rotate it just like it. Let's put it at 45. Now it's an angle of 45 degrees. That's what you can do with textures. You don't have to just put them on. You can do a whole lot of stuff with them. And oh, here, for example, this is not good. I want to align this. Let's much better. Now it's more or less aligned with this. It's still ugly because it's not aligned here, but it's an example of how it works. So here you have a basic cube with textures that you have adapted to what you wanted, and a little light so that you can walk in it. Okay, so now you've seen how to build a basic level in ShockEd. I know it's basic, really basic. You can do anything, you can shoot any stuff, you can but hey, before you can run, you have to learn how to walk, and that's what we're doing here. So well, I hope it wasn't too confusing. I'm not a certified teacher, so if there's anything, any question, you can send me a mail, or just look up Ralph at Through the Looking Glass or Looking Glass Classics. I'll be back next week for a proper level construction, how to insert an object, how to set up your characters so that you can enter your level actually where you want to be, and insert some basic furniture and a chair and and a desk. I hope you liked it. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I think I already said that. If you have any reaction, don't hesitate. I think I can almost handle all the negative stuff that you have to send me, so bring it on. Well, I hope it helps most of all, and read the tutorials, check the original levels always. That's a wealth of information out there. Check fan missions if you can get a hold of them. I don't know, just play with the editor even without tutorials. Play with it, learn how to deal with it, learn how to deal with the crashes, because it crashes a lot and we can't do anything about it. And I'll be back next week. Until then, stay shiny. Bye.